Alright, my friends, Brian with VetteSource back in the garage tonight, where we are going to take a look at our 1996 LT4 Competition Yellow car, low mileage, that I haven't brought up in a while just as I haven't really been using it this year. But like all Corvettes, even with low mileage, they do have things that end up needing attention. Namely, what we're going to work on today is this weather stripping here. Now, this car, actually, this week is its birthday. So it's 28 years old, so I guess this is his birthday present. So this car has been stored inside its entire life. It's essentially brand new for those of you that have never seen me highlight this car before. It's pretty close to new. It actually still smells like 1996 in here, is what I joke around, but it's had a real cool, interesting history, and I've used it in a few other videos to highlight some things about C4s. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll put a link up there at the top so you can find that playlist for that. But what we're going to do tonight is address in our lecture series. We're going to start here pretty quick on our Corvettes with weather strip issues. There's two more here that are going to have it. Our 93 40th project, low mileage, our high mileage Aqua LT4, and this one all have differing or the same weather stripping issues. We're just going to work on this one tonight just so you can see. Now, this piece of weather stripping here is your rear hatch weather stripping, of course, and is particular to the coupes. Convertibles have a totally different piece, and it actually comes and sold as one piece all the way across and all the way back and all the way around, right? Now, this is a big piece of weather stripping, but it actually is not. Dang it, I got stuff all over my car. I hate that. It is not actually one piece. It is sold as one piece, and it's glued together, but as you can see over the years, what happens is this comes apart. This glued section comes loose, and then what we have is that separation. Now, on this side, the gap isn't that big, but as we get over here to look at it, you'll see the gap is much bigger, because what happens with time is that heat and time and the age of the piece actually shrink the rubber, and then the ends won't even meet anymore. So from the factory, these are actually sealed together, and they create a consistent piece right there. So that's why you see it as one piece when you order the new one. Now, this car here, they weren't that gentle with this anyway. They have one spot here where I can see they probably, the previous owner tried to take the target top off and hit it right there, and you can actually see where they cracked the paint right there. Yep, just a little bit. So I'm going to glue this one back down tonight, but it's still not going to fix the overall. Now, what is it? It's more a temporary repair. You can see this is loose here. So the way from the factory these are put on is this piece here. You can see that weather stripping glue on the back of it. It's actually attached to this inner strip, pressure strip, that goes on the back side of your halo panel right here. And you can see even this one here, this piece is splitting right across through here. So these are all potential water intrusion points on this car, because as good as it is at sealing out water, a good job they did, they're still not 100%, because there's just too many access points with the greenhouse style that these cars have. So tonight what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. See this channel right here, and we're going to reapply. Lord have mercy. See, that goes all the way. I'm probably not going to go all the way up there tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and glue down this strip right here and keep that in place. So what won't happen is every time we open this hatch, it has that tendency to get caught and deflect and further damage the weather strip and allow a ridiculous amount of access for water to get in there. So what we're going to do real quick, I'm going to get my tools, and it's very small things that we're using for this. Just some old glue remover, and then our new adhesive trim, and put this back together. So give me just a second, I'll be right back and we'll get the thing set up. Alright, let's get back to this here in the garage where we get a little more light that we can see what we're doing since it got dark, and we can work on this thing here. So what we're going to do is take, there's our 427 car waiting patiently for me to get rid of my life distraction so I can put him back on the road. We're just going to take some basic tar and bug remover and some weather stripping adhesive, the 3M brand, which is pretty good actually, because that's the closest approximation to what they actually use from the factory. You can see here that this is kind of this is the old adhesive here. It's very tacky. It's more of a, if I had to kind of call it anything, it'd be more like of a Play-Doh texture. But you can see over the years as it dried up and stuck to these pieces here. Now this one here, I'm not going to mess with this tonight, even though this sucker is loose all the way back to here, to this glue point. And you can see from the factory that they do use a small amount of it in that channel, but it's not a huge amount, so we're not going to get crazy. And of course these are just in the ends to where it's secured, matching to the inside of the body. But you can see how dirty that channel gets over the years. So this is going to take, you know, of course, once you want to change this, it'll be in your best interest to take and do some fine detailing in this spot to get that dirt out of there. Because again, anything, it's like the pebble under the mattress, right? You have anything in the way that can interfere with that positive seal of water, it's going to just come right through here and back into this and leak through this area back here, and of course under your speaker, and lots of other things that can actually mess up in this car. So real quick, all I'm going to do is just take my bug and tar remover. Funny that it's got a Tornado on the front of it. If you've seen my other videos of my Tornado collection, another car that I really like. And all I'm going to do here, I'm going to kind of one-hand this just to show you guys what we're doing. And we're just going to clean this up. Again, keep this simple and stupid as possible. KISS is my motto, because once you get really in the weeds and you start having trouble. And let's see if that'll come off of there. Hang on a second. I'm going to put my protective rag there. There we go. This is essentially just the bug and tar remover is kind of a light petroleum citrus based product that they put in there to get this stuff apart. Now in this case, see how this glue is dried up quite a bit, so we're gonna get a little more aggressive with it. Let's go ahead and all I said, like I said, I'm gonna tack down that one spot right there so that this will not deflect every time I open up the rear hatch. For your purposes or your technician, mechanic you take it to, this might be a temporary fix to keep water out of that car until you buy that new piece that goes in there, because the weather stripping can get rather expensive on these cars, and there are certain manufacturers, certain weather stripping that's sold cheaper than others, and it's really not that good, not the highest quality. Truth is, I can remember receiving these off the truck, the transport truck, from the factory, from the assembly line, and this would have been probably after it had gotten hot, really. But I remember 2 or 3 cars coming in and walking out to the yard or the lot to look at them, and as we opened the doors on these cars to get inside and look at them, the weather stripping would tear. So the weather shipping has always been a fragile point on these cars. It's not the strongest. And there's a lot of things on Corvettes that are kind of fragile, but it is what it is. You know, with the amount of technology they put into these cars, it's amazing. Some of the things that survive, even, you know, like with this car. This car has not been driven hard or abused. Not that abused, it was just driven like kind of a regular car in a lot of respects. It wasn't babied, I should say. So it has some things that have worn on it, but it allows us to kind of play around with it and satisfy that curiosity of fixing what is broken, right? But that's with everything in life. So I'm just going to get a few more little, trying to get this out of this channel right here. Bear with me. And I will say that in the restoration side of this business, cleanup and detail is always going to be your most time consuming, second to tear down and and reassembly. You know, reassembly is actually probably a little bit of the all areas that you're performing, and rustification or rejuvenation of a car is going to be your most time consuming, because you got to make sure everything is fitting correctly and put back together correctly, and you're not marring the new painted surfaces that you just so patiently spent your time trying to reassemble. That's part of why I love seeing restored cars. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but that end of the business I got out of full time simply because I appreciated the cars that could be driven. I do like looking at the jewelry, as we call it, in the show, but these were meant to be driven, you know. And sometimes once we do that with these cars, they lose a certain something once they become static displays. And listen to me complaining about that. I'm not complaining or pontificating as I'm sitting here with my car that hasn't moved out of the garage, and God, I don't think I've driven it at all this year, to be embarrassed to admit. But this year has been a little more busy for me. Come on, buddy. And like I said, all I want to do is get this in a spot to where this is not getting stuck. Because let's be honest, I am actually looking at a little more driving time with this car this year, but it is not ever going to see rain unless I just get stuck in it. And any water that would get in this channel will be from me at the car wash with it, or washing it in the driveway. You know, I don't even put a brush on it at the car wash. I basically just wash it with spot free and go on with it, because I would like to, again, even though it has its wear and tear, I'm trying to preserve it for whoever is the next caretaker after I'm long gone. So again, we're just going to use the 3M, the yellow super. Now the yellow is different. You have to go look for this. Most of the stuff you see on the shelf is going to be the black. The yellow, you know, and I may be just remembering, but the good thing about the yellow is it matches the factory color, and it's a fast drying, exceptional bond strength, and it firmly bonds the gaskets and seals. So that's what we're looking for. And I'm not gonna go crazy. Thought I could one hand open this, but probably not. There we go. Okay. Man, that cap is on there. Alright. And we refer to it as the monkey snot. It's definitely got a look about it. So we're just going to follow this path. And all I'm doing is I'm not even putting pressure on this. I'm simply just letting the expansion from inside the tube do the work here, because you don't want to go crazy with it. I'm going to put a little bit in that corner. Alright. And we're going to get that off of there as well as we can without messing it up. Put that over there temporarily. And then I'm going to just gently put that back down. And that should bond really quickly for me. Now, what I'm going to do to help it, is I'm going to go ahead and shut this. Now that bottom piece still wants to deflect. And that top piece doesn't. There we go. Let's see if I can get this in here. Tuck that in so we use that as pressure. There we go. All right. So now you can see, oh, ouch. This is where it should be, tucked underneath that ridge line right there. Now, of course, see, I've still got that gap right there. Now, this I will not be able to solve, all right? Now, I've seen a lot of people just fill this gap with a lot of silicone. Frankly, I wouldn't recommend that just because you're going to make a bigger mess than is already there. But be aware of your, obviously, potential water intrusion points. Now, I may come back, see how I can see a little bit of a gap there with the camera in that corner. I may put a little bit in there, but we'll see. I'm going to leave this alone for a couple hours. It will actually seal in place. And again, I don't take this car out in the rain unless I just get stuck in it, so it's really not going to be that big of an issue. My bigger concern was to make sure this did not come up every time, so that whenever I'm opening this back hatch, I'm damaging something. So that is going to wrap things up for tonight. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. Again, easy repair. Next time, I think we're going to go ahead and work on what we call the lower sealing strip here on the door. This is a little bit more involved. It won't be on this car. It'll be on one of our 96, either our Aqua LT4 or our low mileage abandoned 93 40th anniversary. You can see this one's really bad. It's actually missing pieces. So what we'll do is, I think the one I have is the driver's side. I don't know. This takes riveting. We have to rivet that into place, so it takes a little bit of time. But that'll be on our next journey, our next part of the lecture series. So I hope to catch up with you guys then. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you've tried this trick, or you got your own variation of the trick that you use and how it works in keeping the water out of your C4 Corvette. Alright guys, have a great evening, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks.